Before I begin this video, I just want to give a quick shout out to Royans for drawing my new profile picture. It is of course a drawing of my own character in MHRise, and it looks really good. A link to his Twitter account is in the video and channel description. So Sunbreak releases in less than a week, and you might be wondering which Sword and Shields would be good in Sunbreak. Well, with the help of a datamined spreadsheet, we can tell exactly that. So in this brief video, I just want to talk about the current Sword and Shields in Rise that will upgrade into something potentially strong in Sunbreak. And some of these Sword and Shields may surprise you. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more Monster Hunter content, then consider subscribing to my channel. Now, there are a few things I want to mention first before I start listing the weapons. First, as the title of this video suggests, I will avoid talking about any major spoilers, such as specific weapon stats and unrevealed monsters, and it suggests that you do the same in the comment section. However, if you haven't seen the datamined spreadsheet yet and are curious to see it, I will leave a link to that in the video description. Second, this list only applies to the initial release of Sunbreak. Of course, things can change after any title update, so if you are for some reason watching this post-title update 1, please keep this in mind. Third, I am excluding Sword and Shields that aren't craftable in base Rise, and I'm also excluding the Rampage Sword, but do keep an eye out for these weapons once Sunbreak hits. Also, I'm not claiming these Sword and Shields would be meta, as we still don't know a lot about the new mechanics of Sunbreak. Alright, now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about the potential Sword and Shields. First, we should examine the Sword and Shields that can use the Rampage skill Silkbind Boost. Silkbind Boost grants a 10% damage bonus to Silkbind attacks, and since Metsu Shorigeki and even Windmill would become even more spammable thanks to the new armor skill Redirection, Silkbind Boost will be incredible to have. Some of the notable Sword and Shields with Silkbind Boost that have potential include the Iron Ore Sword and Shield, the Jackie Sword and Shield, the Banahabra White Sword and Shield, and the Banahabra Yellow Sword and Shield. But perhaps the one with the biggest potential in my opinion is the Bisha Tint Sword and Shield, having the highest raw out of all of them and appears to have a decent upgrade tree for story progression too. As for the rest of the Sword and Shields I'm about to show you, they currently cannot use Silkbind Boost, and it is unknown what new Rampage skills we can apply to them. So I'm basing these choices on weapon stats alone. But even still, you should be on the lookout for these weapon trees. The Kimura tree appears to have a branching path which leads to a very solid weapon. The Kimura tree itself is also decent for story progression. The Tigrex sword is currently a very strong weapon in the base game and will remain a very strong weapon in Sunbreak. The High Frost Edge, on the other hand, is currently a very bad weapon, but it appears to branch into two paths which are both pretty solid. One branch caters towards Ice Elemental Sword and Shield, while the other caters towards Raw Sword and Shield. The Ragados Tabar will also likely branch into two paths, and both seem like decent Raw Sword and Shield options. The Magnamalo Sword and Shield probably should have been a better weapon in base game considering the fact that it's from the flagship monster, but in Sunbreak it'll upgrade into something good. And finally, we have the Rajang Sword and Shield, probably the absolute worst in terms of using for story progression, but its final upgrade has decent stats, so do keep an eye on this tree. And so those are 11 Sword and Shields that have potential in Sunbreak. You can of course craft all of them before Sunbreak releases, but I do recommend that you have at the very least the Kimura Sword and Shield or the Bisha Tint Sword and Shield ready to go. But as with all my other videos, you can just play however you want. That is all I have for you in this video. If there's something you wanted to add, then feel free to leave a comment down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed, and I'll see you next time.